Welcome to Saturday Racing. It's July 20th, 2019, and we have winds out of the east-northeast at about 7 miles an hour. And the Catalina 275s, our performance racing fleet, are going to start first with about 40 seconds to go. And here's our line between the orange pumpkin and the big yellow, whatever that thing is over there. And the windward leeward course is about a mile or so, mile and a half long. 20 seconds to go. And I like how this boat is coming in hot. With 15 seconds to go, they're going to get right here. They're going to be on the line going fast. The problem is sea foam is a little far from the line, and it's hard to get up to the line in these lighter winds. So there's 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All clear! And spray. Won that start. Coming in fast. Good momentum. And we tried to favor the other end of the line just a little bit, but actually it looks like Spray is going to win this start. And I like how they're heading up. Nice and even turn. You know, no sharp turns, because when you move that rudder quickly, it acts like a giant speed brake. And whoa, the wind did go a little bit to the right, and so it definitely favors this end of the line. And Spray definitely is ahead right now of the other boat. Now, in these light winds, you don't want to sail the boat too tight. That means you don't want to have your sails in too tight. You need to stay in the acceleration mode longer. And acceleration mode is just when you have your sails eased a little bit. You know, on these boats, it'd be about 6-8 inches out more than usual, just to get her going as fast as you possibly can for these conditions. And you see how their main is luffing? Well, that's not good. They need to either head down and fill that sail or trim it just a little bit, because the main sheet is like your throttle, and they're not really going fast. They need to head down a little bit. They're pinching, which means they're heading too close to the wind, and they're just not going fast. They're pointing a lot higher than the other boat, but look how the other boat's taking off. The other boat's just going much faster. So they need to get that boat moving by heading down a little bit, filling the sails, because otherwise the other boat is gaining on them and actually outpointing them now, because the other boat down there reached a new zone of pressure. So if you're the first one to the new zone of pressure, you can pull ahead fast in the race. So it looks like Seafoam down there to leeward has pulled ahead right now. And from this point on, if you're on Seafoam, if you see a header, that means the wind shifts to the left, you can tack and cross in front of Spray, the boat on the right, and consolidate your lead. So they're looking for a wind shift to the left. That's called a header, or a knock, some people call it. All right, let's see what happens. All right, we're partway up the beat, and Spray's been pinching a bit, which allowed the other boat to gain on them, and then they got just a little bit of a header, and Seafoam is going to try and cross them, but I don't think they have them. So remember, starboard has right over port, so let's see if they're going to cross in front of them. Maybe they'll make it, and if they do, they should probably tack back and cover Spray. Just squeak by them. And if I was them, I'd think about maybe tacking pretty soon for a proper cover. I would say wait till they're 45 degrees from Spray's stern, starboard stern, and then tack over like right about now. And that way you don't lose your competition, because you see, if you don't cover them and they go way left on the course and you go way right, then you're at the mercy of the wind gods and you can't really control them. So that's why you don't want to get too far away from your competition. Cover. All right, so now Spray is going to tack over and go with Seafoam. They may see some more wind pressure over there on the right side of the course. And boy, these guys on Seafoam really, we got the boat speed today. They're really keeping it in the groove more than Spray is. So they've just got better boat speed. And when you have better boat speed, you can work wonders on the race course. All right, Seafoam has tacked back and will probably cross in front of Spray. And you can herd your competition around the course and make them go where you want to go and control them by using tight covers. So what Seafoam could do, if they want to force Spray back, is tack right on their wind. So in other words, they would cross like right in front of them, and then right about at that point tack over, and they'll be right on their wind. And then when you get the other boat in your wind shadow, you mess up their wind. And this is how you can gain even more on them. And I believe the reason Seafoam's ahead is that they just have better boat speed today. They got that thing moving. I'm not sure this Traveler being up on Spray that far is a good thing. Now, if I was Seafoam, I think I'd tack right now. Just get right on their wind. And then you get them in your wind shadow, and they're toast. But if you wait too long, Spray, the boat on the right, will have a safe leeward, and they will not be affected by your wind. So it looks like they're going to let them go. And I still think Spray's pinching a little too much. They're heading too close to the wind. They're just not going as fast as the other boat. I also think in these light winds, you need to get more heel on the boat. And I feel like this boat has got more heel on, and that reduces wetted surface, hence reduces drag, then it goes faster. So if they put one other crew member to leeward, that's on the right side, I think they go a little faster. And notice how when you trim the Traveler way up, it kind of distorts the leech. It makes the top fall off in a funny way, and I don't think that's the best shape to have. Let's go look at theirs. So now they're going to tack back, and they're putting a very tight cover on Spray. And if they get in acceleration mode and get moving, they're going to be placing Spray in their wind shadow, which is what you want to do. So we'll see. Here we are at the start of the Harbor 20 class, and we have 45 seconds to go. The wind has shifted and come in from the predicted direction, southeast. It's blowing about 12, maybe a little more. And this wind has shifted about 15, 20 degrees to the right, so it could be a one-tack beat. So it's probably a little favored on this end by the orange buoy as opposed to the yellow buoy. Anyway, I like how Violet, the boat with the red sails, coming in here. And get ready to pull up. 12 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And these three boats here got great starts. The blue boat, this boat, and the red sail boat were closest to the line, going fast. now the mark is actually down there, so they may not realize that. All right, so it looks like Barbie, number 2, is winning this race so far. Start at the Catalina class, and we have 40 seconds to go. And there's the line between the orange and the yellow buoys. We have another class finishing, but I think we're going to be long gone by the time they're here. We got 30 seconds to go. All right, now back up some more. Back up, back up. See this boat? 20 seconds. All right, so they're accelerating down. We got 15 seconds to go. Now this lured boat has the right to run them up. So there's 8 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! And it looks like, all right, so, sea foam in the Catalina class is blasted off. They just have the boat hooked up, and they've moved into the lead. Here come the last 2 Harbor 20 finishers. All right. All right, we have 1 minute to go before the Harbor 20s start their next race. And I like how this boat's up on the line. You know, you see the boat with the red sail is just so far to leeward. It's going to be tough to get back to the line in time. So they're probably going to be late for the start. And being late is really tough to recover from. 30 seconds. And I like how Barbie here is going fast, up on the line. There's 20 seconds. 15. And the green boat needs to get up on the line. There's 10. I like what the blue boat is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! And Barbara Ann, number 2, got a good start. Peanut got a good start. The boat with the red sail is in the wind shadow of number 2. And, should try and tack away when they can. They don't really have room right now. Now you see how Filbert was early on the line, and they had to jibe around, and now they're tacking into the wind shadows of all these other boats. They probably should have kept going on that other tack just to get in a clear lane of air, because you just want to be on the favored end of the line if you can, have a clear lane of air, and if you can do that consistently, you can be in the top 30% of your fleet. All right, so now this wind is a little squirrely today. It's been gusting in with these little squalls, and now it's going light, and there's a lot of leftover chop. And when that happens, you have to sail the boat a little full. But I like how Peanut they're sailing it full, and they may have pulled into the lead. Barbie's not been pointing too well. They kind of fell off there to leeward. They got their main out way too far. This is the problem. And so they're just not pointing as close to the wind as everybody else. So right now, Peanut is in the lead. And when you're in the lead, you just want to cover your competition by staying in between your competition and your next objective. So they just have to cover. Here we are at the start of race number 3 for the Harbor 20s, and the wind has died down to about 5 to 6. And the skipper on this green boat sitting too far aft. You know, what that does is it drags your stern. You see how their stern is like down in the water like an inch or two? See, that's drag. That slows you down. All right, 35 seconds. I like how Filbert's up on the line, but you know, remember they were early last time, and it looks like they're going to be early again. There's 25 seconds. I like how the red sailboat's kind of getting up on the line. Now, Filbert down there on port tack has to give way to everybody else, so they need to be very careful. 15 seconds. And the blue boat needs to get up on the line, get closer. They and Peanut are just too far to leeward. I like how Violet's up there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All clear! And Violet, I think, won that start, probably. But the blue boat's looking pretty good, too. They have a nice, clean lane of air. They have their sails trimmed correctly. Now their weight is, they need to get some weight to leeward. They need to heel that boat in these lighter winds. That reduces drag. Oh, there he goes. Mark's getting to leeward. And as you heel it over to about 15, 20 degrees, that reduces your drag in the water in lighter winds. You only want to keep the boat flat in heavy winds. All right, so Filbert's tacking over to go with the fleet. I think their main is not high enough. It needs to go up about 3 inches. You see how the boom's kind of sagging down there? That's not really the correct hoist height. All right, so right now the blue boat appears to be in the lead, and Violet has a shot at the lead if they'll head up just a little bit. I think they're not quite on the wind all the way. Peanut's not looking bad, but they can't fall behind the blue boat and get in their wind shadow. They need to be careful to keep their lane clear. All right, let's see what happens. We're at the start of the last Catalina race, and one of the boats had to go in. So we're just having a sequence for this one with 45 seconds to go. I like how they're getting aimed up here in line with the starting line, and they could very well end up right in the middle of the line, right at about the right time. 30 seconds. Okay, good. 20 seconds. Oh, got to get that main trimmed. It's kind of luffing. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All clear! And they were on the line, going pretty fast. Just got to get that main trimmed a little bit. It's not developing its full potential because it's luffing. So I think they need to get that main sheet in a little bit. All right. They're pinching too. Yeah, you can't pinch in these light winds and a chop. It just kills your boat speed. Got to get her in the groove, head down about 5-10 degrees. Main is way out too far, which is why they can't point as high as some of the other boats. Now, they have the right idea to keep the boat in acceleration mode, but they have that sail just out way too far. And they've got her up to speed, so you know they can trim it in about 6 inches, 8 inches, and still go fast, but they'll point higher. So that's what they should do right now. Here's the blue boat over here, and I think their main. Here we are at the weather mark, and Peanut is leading the pack. So they'll round this mark and head back to the finish. Nice. Now you see that turn was way too sharp. When you turn sharp like that, that rudder acts like a big giant speed brake. You should do it very gently and have a nice sweeping round turn, not like that. Because see how they slowed way down? Now, they've got a really nice lead, but they probably lost 2 boat lengths by putting that speed brake on. All right, here they come. And Coach Mark is helping, looks like Chris, to get around the mark. It was a pretty good rounding. All right, now you got to let that main out. Let it out fast, fast, fast. Out, out, out. Let it all the way out. Let the jib out. All right, and Filbert's third. Nice. All right, here we go. Let that main out and head all the way down. There you go. Main out, all the way out, out, fast, fast, fast. See, when you choke the main like that, you slow way down. All right, here comes Violet. And Barbie is back there, coming in. Uh-oh, what's going on? Here we go. On these boats, the rudders are relatively small, and you have to steer with the sails as well as the rudder. So sometimes if you don't trim your sails right for a maneuver like that, and you turn the rudder won't do much of anything. And you see they jibed around, and you see the coach is like trying to turn the rudder, but because they won't ease the main, the boat's weather vaning, and it won't turn down. So they rerounded it. They lost the place. Oh well, live and learn. And there's the finish line. All right, welcome back to the dock. Well, it turned out to be pretty cool out there, and we had just enough wind to get things done. So, from the race committee's point of view, we noticed that a few boats didn't stay close enough to the starting line, and they got just delayed. And didn't get to the line in time. So I think a good strategy is just tack back and forth across the line and get used to how long it takes you to go back and forth. And if there's a lot of traffic there and you just don't want to be mixed up with all those boats, you could just go right on the windward side, you know, a few boat lengths to windward, and there was no traffic up there. And it's easy enough to dip below the line at the last minute. And in small fleets like this, you can get away with dip starts. And sometimes they're really good because that last 15 seconds before the starting signal, you want to get that boat going as fast as you can. And generally, a beam reach is the fastest point of sail in these wind conditions. So, you know, dipping down or coming in from a high angle is always a good thing.
The first race, we completely missed the signals. So we thought it was still 2 minutes out, and suddenly you guys are all going across the line. We're like,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to have two identical flags to signal the 2 minutes because blue.
Well, blue goes up at 2, down at 1. That's what it is.
And you think you can see that?
Well,
we missed that on the
up and down.
Okay. Well, the best thing to do is, again, when you see that one flag, that's called the L flag, the black and yellow checkered one going back and forth, immediately you see that. Just turn the boat around and start sailing as close to the race committee boat as you can, because you want to get that signal. Now normally we have a big loud horn that works, and we were working on it, and it was like sometimes it would sometimes work, but the wires had corroded, and WD-40, we took it out, we tried to clean it off and get it working, but it wouldn't work, so we had to use the whistle. Normally race committees use cannons or really loud horns, and so we were just handicapped today that we just didn't have the right equipment, but we're going to work on that and try and get it fixed for the next time.
So the signal is blue up, blue flag down.
The first flag is that L flag back and forth, 6 sets of 6, and that's dipped. And then the first flag is the class flag. So for the Harbor 20 class, it's that yellow flag with the H, and that's 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
That's called your warning signal. Yeah, and then at 2 minutes, blue. That's called your prep signal. And then at 1, blue's dipped. And I know some people that are really good, and they don't even use watches. They just look at the flags, and they know what to do. That's a little risky, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty easy. You're just probably not used to our sequence. Some clubs use a 10 and a 5 minute, but we find we can get more races in if we use this is actually a college training format that we're using. 3-minute sequence is what they do. And in college they just use whistles, keep it simple. So, this is just all about, this is a clinic, it's not really the world championship. Fight.
I beg to differ.
So we videoed all the highlights, and if you'd like to see yourself on video, just go to YouTube after 5 p.m. Sunday. Sometimes we get a little delay depending on our internet connection, but if you key in Saturday Racing July 20th, 2019, it should pop right up, and it's usually about 15-20 minutes long, and it just shows the highlights, the starts, some mark rounding, some of the good things that some boats were doing and some of the not so good things. And so it's a great way to learn, because I find most people forget 90% of what you did today by tomorrow. So check out the videos. And if you'd like to get on our mailing list for notices, if we think we're not going to race, we usually try and send that notice out the day before. You get it by email, and we also try and give a weather forecast and just announce if there's any other classes with us, because most of the time we don't have the Catleys out there, which kind of caused a bit of a craziness. But we may have the Scots joining us sometimes. That's usually not as hard to deal with. All right? Questions? All right, so Will, the crew of the mighty Peanut, please come forward.
Look at this.
Blue ribbon, blue ribbon.
We don't skip on awards around here.
Right.
Good job.
You.
All right, the winners for July 20th, 2019. Woo!
All right.
See you next week.